for the finale and the reunion of Traitors season 2. Such a great episode. What's such a great season, period. I want to say that this review is going to be a little bit different than what y'all are used to with me because it's 2 episodes, 2 hour plus long episodes, too. And I'm behind, I'm late. And I honestly am tired. I don't have the energy to do it as detailed as I typically do. But I've got spark notes on what I want to talk about in regards to the episode for the finale as well as the reunion. But I just want to thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for being with me this season. That's number one. Thank y'all so much for being with me this season. I've gained a lot of new subscribers from this show, which I love because I just want my channel to be as different. I want to have as many different audiences as I can and to be able to have a new audience with Traitors. I love it. Yeah, I'm starting other shows as well. So if you see what you like on my channel, stay with me. I'm going to be here, especially for season 3. We already know they've gotten renewed, so I'll be back to cover that. But again, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much for being here with me, being engaged. Number one, when I say that, jumping in the comments, talking to me. I appreciate it so much. Thumbsing up the video, subscribing, sharing, all of that. So please do that again one last time for the season. And yeah, we're going to get into it. Let's go. All right, so we get back from the finale. The finale, we get Kate. Kate is the final traitor, and she doesn't know what to do. She's got her final murder, and Alan joins her. She tells him essentially it's between Trishelle and Sheree for her. She feels like if she gets Sheree out, it's going to take the heat off of her because of the Bravo connection. So we get to breakfast. It's the final day. MJ's the first one in. She's proud of just how far she's gotten. She's been able to play the game the way she is in life, which is genuine, real, just to the point as a faithful. CT's next to come in. He's pumped about making the final, obviously, because he has not been on a show in a long time. And when I say a long time, it's not that long, but it's long for CT because the challenge, I think that his last season was Ride or Dies. No, Spies, Lies, and Allies, I want to say, which was, I want to say 2020, 2021. So that's been 3 years now. So yeah, he's excited to be back in another final on a completely different show. So for him to make a final on a completely different show is big. It's a big testament to his social game and how he is as a competitor. They talk about how personal Kate got with Phaedra and something about it was just off. MJ's thinking that Sandra is the traitor though, because she trusts Kate. CT is thinking it's Kate. In walks Kate. She's next. Sandra walks in next, and she's also thinking the same thing about Kate, about how weird she was acting with Phaedra, how she got so personal, and she's like, where did that come from? And then Kate is pretty much looking to target and push for Sandra in this last final day because she knows that MJ would believe her. Because at this point, she knows MJ is in her back pocket. Anything she tells MJ to do, she knows she will follow. So that's her option to get the heat off of her. Because she knows it's down between those two in terms of the biggest suspects. And they realize Trishelle and Sheree are the final 2 left. So it's between one of those 2 that's going to get murdered. And in walks Trishelle. Sheree got murdered. I was not expecting this. I don't know. I just was not expecting this. It's funny because I've been saying all season, I did not expect her to continue to get as longer and longer into the game as she has. But now that she's gotten so far into the game, I wasn't expecting her to be murdered. I just thought she was going to at least get to the end to where she can choose and see if she's going to be able to get the money or not, because she's made it so far without any suspicion. But I understand why Kate did it, because essentially she's trying to throw the scent off of her. Because if she left another Bravo person in and took out somebody else, it would have made her even bigger of a target. But I see why she did what she did. But Sheree ends up reading her letter saying that she knew that Kate was the traitor. I'm like, okay. Sheree always thinking she knows. Well, she's always saying that she knew somebody was a traitor, but did nothing about it when it mattered. But she said Kate came in hot. She was all over the place. Said that she knew she was a traitor because she couldn't look at Phaedra during that round table. But she wants all the faithfuls to win. Alan comes in pretty much confirming that Sheree is the last murder victim, and they have their final mission later on today. Sandra says going into the rest of the day, she wants to get into everybody's ear to pretty much let them know that Kate is the traitor and we're going to try and get her out. She knows that Kate's coming for her, as Kate knows she's coming for her. So it's the battle between Kate and Sandra at this point. So they disperse after breakfast. CT and Sandra, they're pretty much saying that it's just a good look for the faithfuls to win. And I wanted to say that it's a good look for the faithfuls to win. As long as All of the faithfuls get to the end. It's a good look. Sandra gets to work on him about Kate. They're talking about how weird she was with how she switched up on Phaedra, because before the round table, she was so pro Phaedra, and then switched up on her and got super personal with it and saying things that didn't need to be said. And they were like, it's time to get her out. And they agreed to do so. So Trishelle is in the room with Kate and MJ asking how they felt about Sandra. And Kate was saying like she's a game player. She's won Survivor twice. MJ's pushing the fact that she thinks that she's a traitor. They both, all three of them agree, even Trishelle. But Trishelle and CT, they go and have a conversation talking about how Kate and MJ are going to push for Sandra. And Trishelle knows that Kate is the traitor. So at this point, she went in there to kind of get a little idea of where they are so that they can literally take that, spin it, get the numbers on their side. Because it's 5 people. And at this point, you need 3 to banish. So all you need is 3 numbers. So it's Kate and MJ as a duo. And then you got CT and Trishelle as a duo with Sandra being the middleman. So it's like you pull Sandra in so we can get Kate out. That's where they're at with it. And that's what they're planning on doing. And they agree on it. I want to say that. They agreed on it. We get to the mission. I really did not watch much of this. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was just background music. But I get the gist of what it is. They had a helicopter that came in to pick them up to go to the mission. The whole point is they have to get to the ship that's in the middle of, I want to say, a river. I don't want to say it's the ocean. Maybe it was the ocean. Whatever. And they have to raise the sail within 60 minutes. As always, they get an hour to do it. And they always find some way to get it done within the last 2 seconds. But they will have detours in between. It'll be a bunch of tasks that they have to complete to get the flag. Every flag will add extra money to the final prize pot, and they must all make it to the ship in order to raise the flag. So if they complete it, they get 50K. This is the biggest prize pot addition that they can get that they've had the entire season. So during the challenge, Trishelle and Sandra, they're talking, and Trishelle is working her about MJ and Kate, pretty much telling her, like, you're not in that group with those 2 girls. They're going to try and get you out. Sandra already knows that, and she agrees, yeah, I want to get Kate out. So they're kind of like, okay, let's do it. So they finished the mission. They did everything that they needed to do, of course. They added the 50K. The total prize pot now is $208,100. And riding home from the mission, Kate, she ends up trying to work CT about getting Sandra. And CT then asked Kate in the middle of the conversation, are you a traitor? And she was trying to act so offended by the fact that he even thought that she was. And she convinced him so well that he literally was like, okay, well, I don't think that she might not be I think she might not be a traitor at this point. So she convinced him in that car ride. CT, I don't know. This CT was off this episode when it comes to like sticking to his guns. He just did not know which way to go. He was flip-flopping a lot with who he thought was a traitor between Kate and Sandra. But back at the castle, Sandra, CT, Trishelle, they're pretty much stating that they want to separate MJ from Kate because they know MJ is a faithful. I really, really want to highlight that. They said they want to separate MJ from Kate because they know she is a faithful. This is Sandra, CT, and Trishelle. Keep that in mind. Kate walks by as they're discussing, asking how the soup was. Trishelle and CT get up and go on out, and it's just Kate and Sandra in here. And Sandra said, I want to pick your brain. And she told Kate that CT had told her that she brought her name up as a traitor. Kate said, I'm not the one that's shopping your name around. I don't think you are a traitor. Kate, I was like, what are you doing? Because Kate is doing a lot of like going in other rooms, saying other things. And it's like, at the end of the day, if they compare notes together, it's logically, they can see what she's doing, even though they didn't really do it in the moment. But she was saying that, and she said that she talked to CT in the car and doesn't like that he kind of switched up the wording, which he didn't. But she said he switched up the wording because she didn't want to vote her out. So Sandra pretty much breaks down the numbers game with her and tries to get her to agree with being a 3 with MJ to get CT out. So Kate feels that she worked Sandra like she worked CT, because now Sandra's believing that CT is a traitor, essentially, in this moment, which I didn't believe that she did, because we know Sandra. Sandra's not that easily gullible when it comes to people trying to work game on her that she already knows for a fact is not true. But Kate then goes and sits with CT again, and tells CT ends up telling she ends up telling CT about the conversation that she just had with Sandra. And he tells her that Sandra is voting her out. Kate then says, no, she told me that she's voting you out. So CT is realizing in this moment that everybody is literally running around telling each other what they think they need to hear. So it's a bunch of bullshit at this point. But they get to the round table, the final round table. Y'all know this is my favorite part of every episode. But it is the final time that we have it. So if any traitor remains at the end of this, post the round table. If any traitor remains in that final discussion, they get to take all the money. If all the faithfuls remain, they can share the money. So CT ends up starting off the round table. He says that he knows that there's been suspicions around Kate because she's been protecting Phaedra. Trishelle then co-signs. It's like she can't ever come up with. It's like she can't. Well, yeah, she can't ever come up with her own ideas. Like the only time she came up. Well, I was gonna say the only time she came up with the idea was piggybacking off of what Dan did with Phaedra, but she didn't come up with that. Dan gave her that herself, and we'll talk about that with the reunion part because everybody else agreed with that. But she co-signs that, asking Kate to explain like what's going on. Kate said she wanted to keep the Bravo family together, and Trishelle ends up asking if she thought that she was a traitor, talking about Phaedra at that point when she did that. And she said yes. She said because it mattered which traitor they got out first. She said that she's good at round tables. She enjoys the quirks of how people act, being able to see little things that they're doing that gives off the fact that they're a traitor. And she said she's good at it because she knows how to detect the traitors and she likes it. And she said that she knew Dan was defensive because he was a traitor. And the way that he's acting is acting like a traitor. That's how she knew that. Kate is low-key working them in this round table. But MJ says that her gut is telling her that Sandra was recruited as a traitor. Stupid. And she says she's a 2-time winner survivor, and her and Phaedra spent a lot of time together during her last few moments in the house. And Sandra said she wouldn't have changed nothing about that. Like she said, I enjoyed hanging out with Phaedra. Like I would have never changed it, and I've still been a faithful the entire time. And she said she thought that Phaedra and Sheree were traitors and thought that they were protecting her. She said she was listening to everybody saying like, "Oh, it's a housewife, it's a housewife." And she's like, "I'm good. Like I'm cool with them. Like if they are, I'm good because they're not gonna try and get me out. Like they're cool with me. I don't know why they would." Which she's got valid reasoning as to why she's stating that. But she said she wouldn't change that strategy because she kind of felt like she had traitor angels watching over her. She knew she was going to be good regardless because she was cool with them, even if they were traitors. So granted, it don't look bad. I mean, it's a pretty strong argument if you ask me. Like, if I'm a faithful and I know I got traitors around me that won't hurt me, why would I want to vote them out? Essentially, that's what I would think. And then again, you can look at it as a bad thing too. It's like, if you're super faithful down, why don't you vote them out even if you are cool with them? So I can see it. I can see both sides. But CT says that he does think that Sandra is a traitor, and she thinks that he's coming for him. I'm like, oh, stupid. Like, Kate really got you. And she said that she only said that she was voting for him because Kate told her that CT said that he was going to take her out, which he said is not true. And I'm like, duh. Sandra says she felt Kate set her up. Trishelle and MJ sitting there denying it like dumbasses. I'm like, she literally did that. That's literally what Kate did. But Sandra is pretty much saying Kate's whole outfit screams traitor, and Kate's like, oh, look. And Sandra says the minute that she stands up there, she's going to be like everybody else that was a faithful, pretty much saying I was a faithful, and y'all going to sit here looking stupid, as always. She ain't lying. But it's time to vote. Trishelle is doubting CT now because of how he switched up on the plan, because they agreed to be with Sandra as a 3 to get Kate out. So she's like, okay, I don't know about CT now. Like she had that moment where she didn't trust. Well, she started building trust with him at the beginning of the season. Then she had that moment where she distrusted him because he used John. Well, he saved John and sacrificed her during that one little moment where he could literally save Trishelle and didn't. And then they kind of built the trust again to where they was cool the last couple of weeks. And now CT does something else that makes her doubt him. So can't even be mad at Trishelle in this moment. But Kate ends up voting for Sandra MJ votes for Sandra, saying that she hopes that she's a traitor because if she isn't a traitor, her soul's gonna be crushed. And Sandra said, "Well, get ready, because your soul is about to get crushed." And Sandra ends up voting for Kate. CT votes for Sandra. Trishelle votes for Sandra. So Sandra is banished. She gets up there and tells him, like, I'm a faithful. Like, and they all sitting there looking stupid. Trishelle, CT, and MJ looking dumb as fuck. I'm like, idiots. So they ended up heading to the final gathering. CT says that he trusts Trishelle the most, the only person that he trusts. MJ says she trusts Kate and wants to get to the end game to share with the faithfuls, but she knows there's a traitor amongst them because they just banished Sandra, who is a faithful, and they know there's a traitor still there because Sheree got killed in the morning. So that's where she's at with that. Kate hopes somebody cries because she's gonna try and do whatever she can to steal the money. And Trishelle is nervous. She thinks that Kate is most likely the traitor, and if it works out, she don't know what she's gonna do. And when she said if it works out, her getting Kate out, she don't know what she's gonna do after that. So here we go. Fire of Truth. It's time. Like I said, if they end the game now, they're gonna be faithfuls. Or if they end the game now and all the faithfuls are still there, they will get to split the money. If a traitor is amongst them once they end the game, the traitor takes all the money. So here we go. They can either banish or end the game. So they come to the point where I don't know what I wrote. I said they came only ends when they all. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Oh, they can only end. This is what I meant. This is how you know I'm tired. They can only end the game when they all agree to end the game, or if there's two players remaining. Only two players remaining. So Alan throws Kate's pouch in the fire. Hers lights up as green, meaning that she voted to end the game, obviously, because she wants to steal their money. So she said that she believes everybody is still a faithful. Like everybody else there is a faithful, is what Kate's saying. It's the reason as to why she did it. Trishelle's goes in, and of course it's red because she believes somebody left is a traitor. CT's is red, and as well is MJ's. And they all believe that there is a traitor still there because Sheree was murdered. So now they have to write down who they wish to banish. Kate votes down Trishelle because she had to vote for somebody. And out of the three, she feels like Trishelle would be the biggest traitor. Trishelle looked at her like, bitch. And I'm like, here you go. Trishelle votes for Kate. CT votes for Kate. And MJ votes for Kate. She says that she thinks about how CT, her and Trishelle had put in so much work from the beginning. And she believes that they're faithfuls, and she doesn't want to make the same mistake that she just did with Sandra. So Kate is banished, and she reveals that she only knows how to play the game as a faithful. And they're looking like, oh shit, here we go. But then she reveals that she's a traitor. And they're all relieved. MJ is ecstatic because she's thinking in her mind, okay, it's time to end this game. I get to get my money. We can all celebrate. We can have fun. We are all faithfuls. We got to the end like everybody's been preaching the entire season. We're going to get to the end, all faithfuls, and we're going to share that money. Here we go. So it's time to banish or end the game. MJ votes to end the game because she says she trusts those two. Trishelle votes to banish with her shady ass. She says she believes there is somebody there with a glimmer of doubt. And I'm like, in this moment, that's what I was like. Because I'm like, you talking about MJ. In my mind, in this moment, I'm like, you talking about MJ. I'm like, you just said earlier that you thought that she was a faithful. But we're going to keep moving. CT also votes to banish as well. Same thing I was thinking about Trishelle. I'm like, y'all literally just said that she's a faithful. And there's only one person in the game that he's willing to share the money with and trust to share the money with, which we're going to get to it. MJ sitting there looking dumbfounded, just like me. I'm like, the fuck? MJ's face was me. I'm like, really? This is how y'all going to do it? After y'all been chanting all season, we're going to be faithful, strong to the end. I felt like this was a cop-out. But they vote. CT votes MJ because he doesn't trust anybody but Trishelle. MJ votes Trishelle even though she believes nobody should be banished. And Trishelle pulls the curveball and votes CT. And I was like, oh. Because what if MJ would have voted CT and CT ass went home? And then she would have found out that he was a faithful. Then she'd have been hot. And CT probably would have been pissed. I know he'd have been pissed. And that would have fucked up their friendship that they was trying to rebuild. But they have a stalemate. It's tied 1-1. So they have to plead their cases before they vote. Trishelle is doubting CT because of that last roundtable. CT tries to apologize about her pretty much doubting him and him making her doubt him. And she can't stop thinking about how he sacrificed her for John. They go back and forth about their feelings and stuff. MJ says, "But you voted for me and you knew I was a faithful." MJ is sitting there looking like, what the hell is going on? But CT ends up voting for MJ. MJ looked like, what the fuck are you doing? Because you know I'm a faithful. MJ votes for Trishelle, and Trishelle votes for who? MJ. I said, y'all dirty motherfuckers. Like, oh, MJ was hot too, and I was not even mad at her. She was pissed. And of course, she reveals that she's a faithful. And those two celebrate because they're revealed as faithfuls and they get to share the money as of the final two. But I see a lot of people on social media like kind of saying like MJ with the morals and stuff. Like they're saying like a lot of people saying that CT and Trishelle don't have any morals and whatnot. And I'm like, they're playing a game. At the end of the day, that's where I see it. But I can see why they feel that way because of how they were so pro-faithful the entire time. Which I wouldn't come into the game preaching morals and stuff. I'm playing the game. I'm going to play the game however I see fit. But you're going to know that. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to get to the end with faithfuls and split the money and then turn around and do like they did MJ. That's just not me. I'm not going to compromise who I am as a person, but at the end of the day, I'm going to play the game and I'm going to do whatever I can because if there's money on the end of the line, I don't care who you are. I'm going to do what I need to do to win the money. That's just what I'm going to do, but you would know that. I wouldn't pull the wool over your eyes, so that's what they did with MJ. But we'll move to the reunion. Not too much I want to really cover on, but I'm going to do what I want to. But if y'all have any thoughts about it, just drop it in the comments. We'll talk about it if I don't cover what you want to talk about. But Andy Cohen, he's the host. Everybody but Max is there, and everybody but the final four are out there on the stage at this time because they don't know who won, so they're going to watch it. They watch it. Andy asks what they think about what happened. And Phaedra says she felt for MJ. Larsa said that the gamers, they'll do anything to win, which is different than the non-gamers. They finally bring the final four out. And MJ is pissed. She is still pissed to this day. She said she felt like she was bamboozled by both of those two. And I was laughing. I'm like, at this point, I don't even blame her. I'd have been hot too. Apparently, she like blocked their ass like as soon as she got her phone after the show. And I'm not even mad at her. I would have done the same thing. If you piss me off like that, I'm mad. Because she could touch the money. She essentially was smelling that money and they snatched that shit from her. I'd have been hot too. But Andy asked MJ how she felt knowing that it was going to be another vote when they had pretty much turned their fire red. And MJ said that she knew, or that they all knew that they all were faithfuls there. So why would you do that? And Trishelle said that she thought that CT was the faithful. And MJ said, you should have stuck with it then. I was like, yeah, you're right. And Trishelle said, well, it would have been a stalemate. But if you thought that he was the traitor, you should have stuck with that, which then revealed that you really didn't think that he was a traitor. Because if you really thought he was, you would have stuck with that the whole time until it was revealed that he wasn't. But Andy then asked CT and Trishelle how they felt about winning, considering their history. CT said that it was fun and he enjoyed playing the game with everybody. And CT ends up telling MJ that she played an amazing game. And then MJ said that you should have finished it the right way then. MJ was not letting up on that. She had her foot on their neck. And I was dying laughing. But Andy then asked who they recognized when they got there. Trishelle said that she recognized Phaedra because she was one of her favorite housewives. I'm like, damage control. That's what you're doing. But she said she knew all the housewives and stuff, all the Bravo celebrities. Andy asked CT and Phaedra about their relationship. Phaedra says that it was sweet because when they first got there, when they got in the car, she thought that CT was a repairman because they was having issues with the car. And she thought he was a great guy. CT said that they was bonding and he felt like she was just batting her eyelashes playing the game. They got a nice little vibe going on. Don't think anything is sparking between them outside of the show, but I enjoyed what they gave us on the season. But Andy brings up Ekansu, pretty much teasing her and Peter dating. They're trying to play it off, but it's so obvious that they are dating. And Tamara ends up jumping in saying that she saw Peter's mom out on a lunch date with Ekansu. I'm like, there you go. It's proven. But Andy brings up Bananas being the first one out. Dan says that he got him out because of his history of winning so many shows. I'm not mad at that because I would have done the same thing. Bananas is dying to have a beef with Dan, as he has been the entire season. If you ain't seen it on social media, you just don't know. But I'm like, shut up, Bananas. Just sit over there. Be glad that you're there, because you got sent home the first person. You really had no kind of energy, no type of presence on this season. So you better be lucky you're even there. And you're essentially irrelevant. But Andy then asked Peppermint how her experience was. And she was upset because, well, he was upset. Andy was upset that he didn't get much of her. And she said it was upsetting because the cast, her being considered an outcast, essentially, and knowing that people have to go first, she knew that essentially there wasn't going to be much proof as a reasoning as to why they're going to banish the ones that go out earlier. And she said, with there not being too much proof, people are going to go with their biases coming into the game, which would normally target somebody that's different, somebody that's not like a normal person on the show. And she said people like her don't normally fare well in situations like that, which she's not lying about. But she said most people don't know many trans people in their personal day-to-day life. So you kind of learn how to deal with trans people, or at least learn how they cope with life through watching them through TV, which is true, because I don't have any trans friends. I don't know too many trans people, but I get to see how they are in life, the things that they like about themselves, things that they like to be addressed by. You learn stuff like that through TV. That's how I learn it, because I don't see it in my day-to-day base or in my day-to-day life, which she's right about. But she said it was heartbroken because she couldn't see it through because she got sent home so early. But Peter and Phaedra, we start talking about them. Peter says that he respects her as a competitor, and even though they went at it, he respects her as a competitor. I'm like, you don't respect her as a person? That's what I was thinking. But he then gets corny and asks her to accept the rose, and of course she does. She says she felt honored because she was most excited to see him and Max when she first got there, because she's a Bachelor Nation fan. Andy then brings up the gamers and how if they stand by stating that the Bravo celebrities are not as quick as they are, not strategic. And of course, they all said no. And Andy ends up asking Phaedra what her game plan was. And she said that she kept the people around her she liked. She said she could have easily killed Trishelle, but they connected on a personal level about personal things as well. So that's why she kept her. Same with John. But Andy then discussed how the Traitors have played the game. We got to see the montage of Parvati, Phaedra, Dan, and Kate, how they played the game. They bring up how nobody was on to Phaedra until Dan. That's what I want to bring up. We all said that Phaedra would have won this game if it was not for Dan. If it was not for him outing her at that his final round table, I truly believe that she would have won this game. And it was proven because nobody suspected her as that. And they all confirmed it at this reunion. He asked, like, who had any suspicions of her prior to Dan doing it? And nobody said anything. Nobody said, I did. Trishelle even said she did it. So it's just like, damn. And Trishelle was the one that caught on the most, which is why it eventually happened, because she was the one that was pushing it after the fact. So Andy was asking what her reaction was to him selling her out. And she said, he's a low down son of a bitch and a piece of shit. I said, oh. And Dan said that he liked them and he liked her, but he's never going to give up playing the game, which I don't blame Dan in that aspect. And he said it's the first time that he failed. Like, it's the first time and it's true, because like every other game that he's played, everything he's done has worked. Essentially, he didn't win season 14, but he was runner up and he should have won. But everything he did in that season leading up to the finals, everything he did worked. And this time it did not work because you underestimated Phaedra Parks, who was a motherfucking attorney. That's where you went wrong. And he ran into a brick wall. And John has been interjecting. I'm like, John, just sit back and shut up. Why are you even talking? But Andy asked if he regrets going for Phaedra, and he said that he didn't because you saw how hard it was to get her out. And he was threatened by her. He said that he didn't see a path for him to win with her there. And Phaedra said, like, you and Parvati was literally trying to get me out from essentially the jump when y'all decided to band together. And Phaedra again said he's a piece of shit. And I'm like, damn. And I'm like, I see why she feels that way. I can't not see her reasoning for feeling that way because of the way he played the game and the way he did her. Like, he fucked her game, and essentially it looks personal. It did. But me watching a lot of game shows, I know why he did it. Essentially, he was trying his best. Like I said, he was trying his best to make it easier for him in the end, because like he said, out of the three of them traitors, Phaedra was going to be the hardest one to get out. Why he didn't go for Parvati, which would have been the easiest way to at least get another week, I don't know, but it don't look too good for the optics. But I want to believe that Dan is still a good person. I do. He's literally top two my favorite players. Him and Daniel Ray is my favorite players to ever play Big Brother. But I see why y'all feel the way y'all feel. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not. But that's all I wanted to talk about. If y'all have anything else that y'all wanted to talk about that I did not cover, please drop it down below. Again, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me this season. I will be back for the next season, whenever that is. But I just want to thank y'all again. Please drop in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Blow them up, spam them. If you watching it, as you watching it, if you got something to say, drop that shit in there and you could spam the comments. I don't care. Thumbs up the video. Subscribe if you are new. Share the video. I think I was going to do it tonight, but it's literally, you said at 11:08 p.m. I am not doing the challenge analysis like I thought I was going to do tonight, but I might do it tomorrow. But the challenge season 40, that's going to be crazy. The cast that dropped, crazy good. Probably one of the best casts in probably decades. So I'm going to review that. I'm definitely going to recap All Stars 4, which starts, I want to say April 10th, if I remember correctly. Bad versus Wild video got 60,000 views. Crazy. I'm doing that. Track and field outdoor season is literally rearing up. We about to get into Olympics time. We are literally at the countdown for Olympics. So I'm going to be getting up with that. What else? Love Island. I know that's coming soon in the summertime. So I'm going to be doing that. Dancing with the Stars is fall. Power, when Power comes back, y'all, I'm gonna start doing Power. I'm gonna do a scripted show. I ain't gonna say scripted shows, but if y'all want to watch scripted shows, tell me what y'all want to watch. I'll see if I actually find that show interesting, and I might do it. But yeah, that's just what I have going on. If y'all want to continue to support me, I'm here. I'm gonna be posting. But I thank y'all so much again for watching, and I hope y'all have a great night. And I will see y'all if y'all come back. Peace. Stop the shit. Damn.